Hi, and welcome to our very first podcast. My name is Ray.
And my name is MJ.
We are huge K-drama fans, and we're currently watching Penthouse Season 3. And we thought we would share some of our opinions and predictions for the upcoming episodes.
And we just want to say a quick disclaimer, there will be spoilers since we will be discussing our predictions for the sixth episode, my bad, of the third season of Penthouse. And our predictions are not official in any way. We have no clue what will happen in the next episode. We just watch a lot of mystery and crime TV shows. And so we like making predictions and trying to figure out what is going to happen. And we also mean no hate for the drama or any of the characters or actors or actresses. We are huge fans, and that is the last thing we would want. Lastly, we apologize in advance if we mispronounce any of the characters' names wrong.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay, this episode, I have a love-hate relationship with this episode.
Me too. I agree.
I just don't know how to feel about it. I feel like it could have gone in such a different way, and I just wasn't expecting what happened.
I personally think I actually have more hate than love for this episode, but just because I thought in many of the cases they kind of dismissed so much character growth, and I don't know, but it was still thrilling. It was a great episode.
It was a great episode.
Great acting
and other aspects of it too. All right, let's talk about the main event of the episode, Woo Yoon-hee's death. Now, this was unexpected for me. I didn't expect her to die. Even in the fourth episode, she was pushing two cars, but I thought she would somehow survive. But it was a shocker for me when I found out she died, especially when I found out she was in the wall of Penthouse. I personally thought this would be the tutor of Imbyul.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
I didn't expect this to be Woo Yoon-hee. And I'm just confused how she was even in the wall to begin with, because the last time we saw her was she was pushing the car. But this episode does go over a lot of that. And I think we can officially say Woo Yoon-hee is dead.
Yes, because we saw her corpse and her funeral.
Yeah.
And the only other person we saw the corpse of was Minsula, and it is confirmed that she is dead. So
that is
unfortunately, I do think that she died.
Yeah, that is
permanently.
True. Now in this episode, they showed this scene and then they went back and showed what happened before this. And this car chase, this got me so mad, because I think what Woo Yoon-hee did was smart when she arrived at the cottage and she switched cars so she could just run away with Eunbyul in the back of the car. But the fact that she drove to like a cliffside on like the outskirts, the outskirts of the country, that got me so frustrated. Like she could have drove straight to the penthouse, or she could have driven to a police station or anything,
hospital, legit anywhere. Yeah,
right. So I was kind of frustrated by her in this scene. I mean, granted, she was in a state of panic, and it is hard to think properly, but I feel like she should have figured it out, like a better situation, better route for her to go.
Yeah. And one thing, has nothing to do with like the penthouse, but does everyone just leave their keys in their car? Like in all circumstances, like everyone could just get in the car and start driving. Like, don't you need a key to drive?
True. There were so many cases where that happened.
Yeah, it's so confusing.
That is true. And then another part that annoyed me was this scene where after like Judante was pushing the car, Woo Yoon-hee tried one time to wake up Eunbyul, but she didn't try pulling her out. I mean, you can clearly see here that she doesn't have a seatbelt or anything. She could have pulled her out and quite possibly saved both of them, I think.
I think so too.
I think it was quite irrational for her to try to go behind both cars and try to push. Like, I mean, she's very petite. It's hard to push back when Judante was like pushing with full force.
I agree with you, because it's so frustrating, because Woo Yoon-hee, if you've seen like the first and second seasons, she's actually a very smart woman. So it kind of, in my opinion, I thought like this specific scene and the last events before her death, they were
Mhm.
kind of rushed in writing.
Right, yeah. I agree with you. Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like there could have been so many other ways. Like, I feel like even when she was turning around, she could have gone a different direction quickly. She saw there was a dead end coming up, even like before she got into this situation. And then another part, while they were like Uyunhee and Judante were in this situation, and Uyunhee was pushing the car, Judante left because he heard police sirens,
Yes,
and they
yes, yes,
showed
yes.
that they
Mhm.
they showed that there was a police car coming up, so he left in order not to get caught. But we see in the next scene that the first person to arrive on the scene was actually Cho So-jin,
Yes.
which I got so confused on because how did she arrive way before the police? Like, did she take a different route? Or because
Like,
she
because we saw the police arriving at the scene.
right after Cho So-jin arrived.
Mhm.
That's why Shim So-ran had asked her, like, did you see what happened to Uyuni? Because
Mhm.
she arrived with the police after Cho So-jin.
Mhm. I agree.
Yeah.
So many confusing episodes, like so many confusing scenes.
Right. And after this scene, as Shim So-ran and the police were pulling up, they showed Judante leaving. And
Mhm.
that's when he opened up the DNA, like the DNA like lab report that Uyun-hee had.
Yeah.
And it clearly wasn't the lab report, so he went back. So I was actually a bit confused. Like in this scene, you can see police searching.
Yes.
You can see police searching, and granted, it, like you said, it might be dark, but there are flashlights and there are a lot of people.
Yeah, especially when, they're investigating this area, this location.
Right, and she fell exactly in the spot near the cliff. So how come when Judante's men were searching
For
for
the body?
Uyun-hee,
Yeah.
yeah, the police didn't find
Notice
them.
anything
Yeah,
suspicious?
they
Yeah.
didn't. And I find it crazy how they were able to take her body out of the water without anyone noticing and put her in the wall of Hera Palace near the fountain and then put her back in the water.
Yeah.
That's so crazy that they like were able to do that within such a short time frame.
Yes.
I'm actually surprised they were able to do that. Like,
I'm telling you, because the police were investigating the entire scene this entire time. So
mhm,
how did this happen? I don't know.
I don't know either. And then we also find out in this episode that Secretary Cho managed to get Logan Lee's safe key card,
For the bank, yeah.
yes, from Woo Yoon-hee. And so now this is under Jidante's possession. So he goes to the bank, obviously, because he heard there would be $10 billion. Yeah, that's crazy that he got this.
Mhm.
So this is when he went to the bank and it was obviously gone. So, and I believe he split half of like what is there, the gold bars, with
The lawyer.
the lawyer. Yeah. And this is the tutor. In my opinion, I was shocked at how fast they turned the story and made Woo Yoon-hee the killer.
Yes, I agree.
I for sure thought Judante would place all the blame on her and
Mhm.
make it seem like it was her fault, but I didn't expect Woo Yoon-hee to come out as the killer who's trying to kill Eunbil and she was bribing the tutor.
I think that was his initial motive,
Hmm.
maybe before when he arrived at the scene,
Hmm.
because like he did capture her and like his men were taking her away. So it might have been his initial motive, initial plan,
Hmm.
but it changed when he ran away.
Hmm. That could be true. Yeah. And I'm surprised at how she was able to hold a press conference.
Mhm.
I didn't know.
You could just like call the reporters and hold a press conference.
Yeah, I guess since she was involved in such a case, she was, but yeah. And this scene,
Oh my goodness.
oh, this is so sad to watch. But I think this did confirm that Woo Yoon-hee is dead. I mean, I know that people are speculating that she might be alive, and we'll get later into this later on who people think Woo Yoon-hee is. But I for sure think she's dead. And this scene was so sad to watch. Like I
And I
can't
just
even
want to say
imagine.
the actress for Verona did such a good job. Like, oh my
Mhm.
goodness.
I know. I was tearing up.
I know, me too. She did so well. No words.
I
Like,
can't even
she was just
imagine her
perfect.
situation though.
No.
That's horrible. No. And the funeral scene. This scene got me angry, not this one particular, but the one where the reporters came in during the
Yes.
funeral.
Come on, show some respect.
I was so frustrated. I was like, this girl just lost her mother,
Mhm.
and now you're trampling onto her funeral
Mhm.
and asking why your mom wanted to kill this
Mhm.
girl. Like, have some respect.
Yes.
That was horrible. I feel so bad for Verona.
But I did love how everyone came to support her, not just, it was Jenny and Jenny's mom, and then the lawyer's son. He also came and helped.
Yeah,
So
even if like the lawyer's wife didn't really agree or
mhm.
like Woo Yoon-hee, she still came
She
to
had
defend.
close people to protect her.
Right, yes. And this scene, this is when Ji Tae found out there was something suspicious about Woo Yoon-hee's death.
Mhm.
I don't think he actually knew, because he wasn't that suspicious of how Eun actually got out of the car and was only the surviving one. But I think after he found out Cho So-jin took or bought Woo Yoon-hee's shares, he was like, wait a minute.
Before she was confirmed dead.
Yeah. He was like, how does she know
Mhm.
that Woo Yoon-hee died?
Instead of just being missing.
And I feel kind of scared for Cho So-jin, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like, you can put nothing past him.
Yeah, I think he's gonna start threatening her.
Yeah, I think so too, especially now that her daughter's back.
Mhm.
That was one of her biggest weaknesses. And oh, the real Jidante. He seems a little suspicious to me. I don't know how I feel about him.
I know. I thought, his feelings and his motive was very genuine, but because, in the beginning, he actually seemed genuine. He wanted to like go after Judante and Judante only.
Yes.
But now they have the flashback to Alex and Logan when they talked about money. It just seems like
Yes.
he's here for the money.
It seems like he's just trying to acquire everything that he lost. Like, because he keeps on like hinting at Shin So-dan like how their life would be if, Judante or like Mr. Beck, if he hadn't interfered and killed the real Judante's parents. It seems very suspicious what he's doing. And like we have theories about him that will explain it
Yes.
towards the end. But yeah, I didn't expect him to go rummaging through and finding the $10 billion.
Yes. And he found it.
Yeah. And this, I didn't expect there to be a mystery person. This was one of the least things I expected. Like I was surprised at how Dr. Ha acted after he came out of prison, but I didn't expect there to be a person behind him, controlling him.
It kind of seemed like there was someone, just because like Dr. Han is the type of person who would like change that much, especially when he was accused of stabbing Judante in prison.
That is true.
There had to be something.
That is true.
But you're right. I didn't expect it to be someone else.
Right. Yeah. And we also have theories on this person that we'll explain later. But yeah, they called Dr. Ha to like this abandoned, I don't even know, like a building. Doesn't seem like a warehouse. And it seemed like when he went in, there were like surgical gowns and there was a sink. So
Operation room.
yes, it gave off the hint that he was going to perform surgery, but they never showed who he was going to perform surgery on. So that is actually quite mysterious. And then we have the flashback with Cho So-jin. This is what showed the actual event and Woo Yoon-hee's death. Now, here it's kind of conflicting because you can see Cho So-jin is actually like, she's scared for both Woo Yoon-hee and her daughter. Yeah, she's like desperately trying to get both of them out. And even like while she's pulling her daughter out, she's always saying, "Oh, just hold on, Woo Yoon-hee," like trying to comfort her. And then all of a sudden, she turns.
Yes, like by 180 degrees.
Yeah, she turned so fast from this person Like she was begging in the car
Mhm.
for Uyuhi to protect her daughter and that she'd do anything. And then she went and killed her.
I know. I so obviously everything that happens is up to the writers, right? And so I don't blame like the actresses because they did a phenomenal job, first of all. And second, I thought by season 3, their friendship, well, like they had a like ill-fated relationship. It was so different. I think they were past like the high school drama because that was all season 1. They were past Dr. Ha, and like their jealousy toward this one guy. They were past everything, and they were actually coming together to form an alliance and go after Judante, the person who ruined their lives. So it just seemed out of character at this point for Cho Seo-jin to be the killer, to be the murderer.
I have to agree with you. I see why the writers did this in a way when I think when they did the flashbacks, they wanted it to show like a beginning and an end, like the beginning of their, love-hate relationship, if you could even call it that. But I expected something different. Like since their relationship was so complicated, I didn't expect it to end this abruptly.
I agree. Because they had so much growth already in the second season and even in a little bit of the third season,
Yeah.
I mean, they still didn't like fully trust each other, but there was something more than just hate,
Yes, I have to agree with you.
you know?
Yeah.
And the only other motive I could think of was to become the director of Chong Arts
Yeah.
Center because Eun had a
20% shares.
yes, she had more than Cho Seo-jin, but during the flashback, that is not what she thought about.
No, it was all about like the time when they were, trying to get into Seoul National University. It was all Dr. Ha and stuff, but I feel like they moved on from that because they went through so much more things together, even if it wasn't something that made them closer, like bond.
I mean, they didn't formally apologize to each other or anything, but like it was kind of an unspoken apology, I feel like.
Yes, I agree with you. I didn't expect Cho Seo-jin to be the killer.
I was hoping it wouldn't be her. While we were watching it, you said it might have been her.
Yeah.
No, can it not?
I know.
I was really hoping at the end of the season, like they would be, more than just enemies.
At least past than enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is how episode ended. And they showed a little bit of like sneak peek, some clips for the next episode. So yeah, let's make our predictions. We have a lot. Okay, first of all, this clip you can see it's Cho Seo-jin and it's Mr. Beck, or the real Jidante. Now, I think that these two are working together. And I honestly think these two are working together and that they might actually be like the mysterious caller that is contacting Dr. Ha. Because if you think about it, when like the day Logan Lee died, right? Cho Seo-jin had her secretary out following Judante. So he took photos of the accident and that Judante was there. So he probably saw that the real Judante was also there, or like when Logan, like the whole explosion happened. And I think Logan's still alive.
Oh my goodness.
Because hear me out, I think when the explosion happened, they never said anything about them finding the body, or this might be gruesome, but like him exploding or something like that. But they didn't
was
say
a
anything.
bomb though. Like I don't know how he would survive that. I mean, I'm a big fan of Logan Lee, and I really hoped like they wouldn't kill him. So I want to believe that he is alive, but it's just not realistic.
But it's the Penthouse.
True.
I think when the bomb went off, it kind of like, blew him backwards. And so there was like a wall of fire. So Shim Soo-ran and Judante both didn't see Logan. He obviously is probably pretty burned. And I think that's when Cho So-jin's like secretary took Logan, and the real Judante probably saw, and he maybe followed. And then I think he like met up with Cho So-jin, and they started to create like a plan, I guess. I think it's maybe has to do something with the real Judante telling Cho So-jin, I have something that will bring Judante, that the fake one, down. But I need you to help me with something, or like get money, or like his position back, or his title back. So I think they're working together, because even in the 4th episode, you can see that when Cho So-jin goes through his stuff, he says this is cheating. So I think they do have a plan, and she didn't even mind when he came and lived with them.
That's true.
She didn't object
She
at all.
didn't oppose, yeah.
So I definitely think that these two are working together. And quite possibly that Logan is alive and Dr. Ha is going to perform on Logan.
But here's the thing. So I understand why Mr. Beck would want Logan Lee alive, but why would Cho So-jin want Logan Lee alive? Because she even said in the episode that I wish I strangled him with my own arm, like with my own bare hands.
That is true, but I think since now she has her daughter back, and that's her biggest weakness, she's using every resource she has to take Judante down, even if it is having to get the help of Logan, who she hates the most. Or it could also be because that could quite possibly be the real Judante's only like requirement. She has to help him help like Logan.
Yes.
In order for him to help her back.
That is very plausible.
That could be. And then in the next clip, they showed again the mysterious color. Now, here's the thing. Even with the red filter, you can kind of tell that the phone color looks purple, right?
Yes.
And we went through, we went through and we looked at the phone colors, and most of the members, like the guys, had a white or like silverish type of phone case or color. And most of the girls, including Shim Soo-ran and Jenny's mom, had pink. And only a couple of people had purple. And that was Woo-Yoon-hee, Sokuna, and we couldn't find Cho So-jin, but I have a feeling it could also be her. And this goes back to the other theory we were having, that her and the real Judante are working together. So this could be her making the call if her phone case is purple. Because we know Sokuna's is purple.
I just found it so crazy that in this episode, right when she realized that no one called her, when she thinks no one has contacted her, she throws her phone on the couch and the camera just pans to her phone.
Color?
Yeah, for a bit. And I'm like, after, when I saw the preview for the upcoming episode, I remember that scene, and there has to be a reason why they pan to that specific phone.
So you think the mysterious caller is Sokuna?
I don't think it's her.
It would be quite a twist if it is her. I feel like she would be the last person I would kind of expect to be.
Maybe the writers or the directors just trying to throw us off by pointing to her phone.
Maybe. Guess we'll have to see. Okay. And in another clip, they showed this suspect board. Now, we think the suspect board belongs to Woo-Yoon-hee, because if you can see, there's a question mark on Shim Soo-ran's picture, and so it can't be Shim Soo-ran. And it also can't be the real Judante,
Mr. Beck.
Yeah, his suspect board, because there's like a lot of circles around his face.
He wouldn't circle himself.
Exactly. And so if you look at all of the things together, it looks like Woo-Yoon-hee, because she was researching who Shim Soo-ran's second daughter was. And you can tell that it says like Los Angeles Medical Center written on there. And it also has a photo and like evidence of the girl that Judante killed like 5 years ago under the fountain. And like the lines, they point to who is connected.
And their phone log, yes.
Yes, and it has the phone logs and money transfers and stuff. And then the lines also connect to who was connected to each other. Like Judante, you can see is connected to the boy twin, Sokun.
Yes.
Yeah, and then but there is no line connecting Sokuna and Jidante, meaning that Uyuni knew she wasn't maybe the biological daughter. So we think this might be Uyuni's. And you can see here that the Shin Soo-ran is looking at it with quite possibly another person.
It does look like a feminine coat, so it might be a woman.
It might be like Jenny's mom.
Yeah, because she's taking Verona's and like Uyuni's side.
Yeah,
in the situation. So
they could have been like looking through her office, Uyuni's office, and have found that. So I think Shim Soo-ran's going to see that, and then she's going to, try to find out what Uyuni was trying to tell her before she died.
Because I thought in the entire 5th episode, she kept on thinking about Uyuni's last words. Like, I have something very important to tell you. So she might be looking for, that information.
Yeah. I just kind of worry for her because the past 2 people who don't have both died.
Yes.
So hopefully that doesn't happen.
No.
Okay. And in this clip, we can see Sokuna. She seems to be working at her father's company. I think it's because she was kicked out of her high school and so she can't go to college. So it seems like she's working with her dad and at his company. And she's dressed quite professionally, like completely different from what she usually wears. Like if you see what she usually wears, it's quite like girly, like, young. But in the next clip,
minimal makeup too.
And in the next clip, you can see that she's like wearing more professional, like she's actually wearing like longer professional pants.
Slacks,
Yes, which we haven't really seen her wear. Her makeup is also more bold. So I think her outfit change also has to do with the next clip that we are shown, which is this clip.
This has to be one of my favorite predictions that you have.
Me too. I think so. A lot of people are suspecting that Nagayo is back because of her butterfly tattoo and the short hair. But I personally think this is the girl twin Sokuna because
that would be the best twist, though.
Yes, it would. Because listen, they both have short hair, and this woman's build seems a little smaller than Nagayo's. I mean, they're both very petite females.
And slender, yeah.
Yes, but her frame seems even more smaller. And personally, this dress is not Nagayo style. Like if you look at when Shim Soo-ran was pretending to be Nagayo, this on the picture on the left
like
is her
darker
style.
Outfits, yeah.
Yes, something more bold, something that's more eye-catching. But the outfit on the right is more Shim Soo-ran style. So I think Sokuna is trying to dress to be like what she thinks is her biological mother, in order to feel closer to Nagayo, because Shim Soo-ran kicked her out and she like hates her right now. So I think she's dressing like this to be more closer to Nagayo, who she thinks is her biological mother.
Yeah, your prediction definitely has some substance because in the first season, Sokuna knew that her biological mom had a butterfly tattoo. Yes. She had that picture. And second, throughout this season, she keeps on pointing out that that Shim Soo-ran has been treating her differently. And she says, well, I'm not your biological daughter anyway, so she might, try to be more like her biological mom.
Yeah, or what she thinks is her biological mom.
And in like a few episodes ago, they also, she got really angry during one of their breakfast scenes that Shim Soo-ran and Logan Lee were one of the reasons that her quote unquote biological mom died.
That is very true. And yeah, I completely agree with you. So definitely I don't think this is Nagayo.
I mean, I can't imagine Nagayo coming back alive. She was brutally stabbed.
Yeah, I can't see her, becoming alive after that. But yeah, that is all for today. I can't wait to see the next episode. I want to see if some of our predictions,
to see if they come true.
Yeah, hopefully one of them at least.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what the writers have planned because this episode has been completely different from what I expected. So I'm very excited to see what they have planned.
And honestly, one episode a week is not enough. I
No.
want more.
Me too. Thank you so much for watching.
And if you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button.
Please subscribe, and if you have any theories, please comment down below. We would love to hear your theories. If you disagree with ours, please feel free to write that down.
We would love to read them.
Yes, and we hope you join us next week. Thank you.
Bye.